When someone attacks your life choices, your relationships, or your character, the psychological impact feels like this: two jagged stones grinding against each other. Your immediate instinct is to brace for impact, push back, and aggressively defend your territory. We carry around a deeply ingrained belief that if we can just explain ourselves clearly enough or find the perfect sequence of words, the other person will finally understand us and offer the validation we're looking for. That dynamic is exactly what we're breaking down today, brought to you by our sponsor, The Other Way, who focus on the mechanics of boundary setting. But let's look at the actual track record of that defensive strategy. You've been trying to explain yourself to certain people for years, and it rarely results in mutual understanding. Instead, it leaves you drained, completely and utterly frustrated, and running on empty. Pouring your words into someone who is already committed to misunderstanding you is not communication. It is an energetic trap. Look at this diagram representing a person under verbal attack. In physics, the more you project outward to defend yourself, the more surface area you create. Every time you throw up a defensive argument, you literally give the attacker a larger target to hit. When you say things like, "I'm a grown adult," or "you have no idea how hard I work," those words don't act as a shield. Instead, they warp into handles. You are handing the other person the exact leverage they need to grab hold of your life and keep the argument going. That connection point generates friction. Friction is the mechanical resistance required to keep a conflict alive. Without something to push against, the other person's attack has no kinetic energy to feed on. When you provide this surface area, you are essentially building a bridge that allows their chaos to enter your internal environment. You are providing the medium through which they can agitate your state of mind. Every word of justification is a drop of your energy, given away entirely for free. Because you've provided the handle, they now have the mechanical advantage. Your peace is no longer self-contained. It is tethered to their willingness to stop pulling. As long as you require their respect to feel secure, they are in total control of your internal state. If handing over our energy is so counterproductive, why is it so difficult to simply stop explaining ourselves? The answer isn't in our psychology, it's in our biology. During a high-stress interpersonal attack, your prefrontal cortex, the logical part of your brain, shuts down. Your survival instincts hijack the system, perceiving a threat to your identity as a literal threat to your life, and forcing you into a mandatory fight response. To interrupt this circuit, you have to bypass the software of your thoughts and perform a manual reset on your physical systems. This is a physiological intervention, a hardware override, required to dampen the alarm. We have a complete guide to executing this physical reset linked down in the description. While you're down there, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment about a time you successfully de-escalated a conflict. Verbal judo fails when your heart is racing at 100 beats a minute. You must physically disengage the body's alarm system before any mental strategy can take hold. The art of not being there is a deliberate postural shift in both body and mind. It is a calculated removal of the target. It starts with your physical structure. Drop your weight. Feel the solid pressure of your heels on the floor. Open your chest. Then, purposefully put slack in your neck. This releases the tension that tells your brain you are under physical attack. When you rigidly defend yourself, you become a solid wall. An attack strikes that wall, transferring its destructive energy and shaking your foundation. Remove that wall, and the physics change. The attacker swings through empty air, overextending and completely losing their trajectory. By refusing to provide the friction of a defense, the attacker loses their balance entirely, and the target remains completely untouched. Maintaining that relaxed physical posture requires an anchor. You need a specific internal realization about what freedom actually means to keep yourself from stepping back into the ring. You have to internalize this exact framework. I do not need them to understand me to be free. If you absolutely must speak, strip every ounce of defense out of your words. Use short, intensely neutral sentences. Say, "I hear that you feel that way," or simply, "My life is not up for debate." And the moment that neutral sentence leaves your mouth, follow it with total, uncompromising silence. Silence is the ultimate vacuum. It is the strongest possible method for removing yourself as a target because it offers absolutely nothing for an opponent to grab onto. We often treat peace like a trophy, assuming it's something we win only after we dominate an opponent in a debate and force them to concede. But true peace is simply the quiet state that remains the moment you make the active decision that a fight isn't yours to participate in. When you apply this strategy consistently, a predictable pattern emerges. Attackers swinging at empty air eventually get bored. They pack up their grievances and leave to find a target that actually provides friction. Choosing to step out of the way allows you to retain your physical structure, your personal sovereignty, and your vital energy. Thank you to our sponsor, The Other Way, Personal Sovereignty and Safety, for supporting this deep dive, and thank you for watching. Ultimately, true power isn't measured by how loudly you can defend your choices. It is found in the absolute refusal to provide a reaction.